Since we haven't traveled or had a Caribbean vacation in more than 2 years, today's meal is inspired by the warm sunny island of Jamaica. We're making ackee and saltfish with some fried dumplings. Ackee and saltfish comes together very quickly with no real effort or skill required. It's a simple dish with loads of flavor. And these are the brands of ackee I have in my pantry. And you may hear Leo crying in the background. His dad has gone to run a few errands and he is having a conniption here. He doesn't care that his mom is still home, so he's crying. Daddy's coming home soon, Leo. He's coming home soon and mommy's still here. Need 1 pound of saltfish, salted fish, pollock, codfish. This is all I have today. And always try to find a brand, a Canadian brand, not a product of China, but a product of Canada. When buying codfish, salted cod or pollock or whatever it is, always make sure that there are only 2 ingredients, no chemicals and preservatives. The first thing I'll do is to rinse, remove this excess salt that's on the surface of the fish. I have a medium pot here with water. I'm going to place the fish in the pot to boil. I'll boil for 10 minutes, then I'll drain it and test to see. Test for the salt content. If it still has a lot of salt, I'll repeat it again 1 more time. Just chop the onion in half if you don't like big pieces of onion, and I love onion in this, so I'm going to use a whole onion. This is a sweet onion. And for the bell peppers, you can use the mini bell peppers or the larger bell peppers. For the mini bell peppers, this is how you prep it. And for the larger bell peppers, you wash it, you cut down the side like this. And then you just slice like this. Hot pepper, you can use habanero, scotch bonnet, wiri, cherry pepper, jalapeno if you don't have access to any of the Caribbean hot peppers. This is optional if you don't like heat. Next, I'll chop the tomato, a very ripe tomato. And these scallions are pretty thin because they're organic, small. So doubling up, usually I'll use 4 large. And these we can plant because it's now springtime. And do keep an eye on the pot because it will overflow. It tends to want to overflow for some reason. I make the mistake so you don't have to. Now I'll strain and clean up this mess. His dad is home, so now it's a nuisance of noise. He wants to play with both the ball. At this point, give it a taste. If it's too salty, return it to the pot. But if it's breaking up like this, you could just rinse it with some water, but don't break it up. You want to keep it as whole as possible. You want just a slight saltiness, so that will salt the entire dish. I won't clean it too clean because we still have to fry the bakes, the dumplings. For the next order of things, we'll open the ackee. I would like to open both cans so you can see what it looks like inside. When you're looking for ackee, I think you need a brand where the ackee is firm and not mushy. So we'll see which one is more firm than the next. I wish I had more brands, but not only is this very expensive, it's hard to find where I live. So I paid $9.49 for this, and sometimes you get it from $9 to $12 in the supermarket. I got this in Queens at Key Food. You're always looking for just ackee, water and salt, no chemicals or preservatives. Of all the openers, I think this is still the best and the most reliable, and it's good if you have no electricity, you still have an emergency backup to open cans. So it's good for emergency preparedness as well. Make sure you wash the can first. Now I'll pour it out into the strainer. And I'm using this and not the largest sink strainer because this will be easier to pour out without breaking it up. Once on Facebook, I was judged, criticized, and condemned for posting a picture of ackee that was mashed on the plate, and I swear I'll never do it again. So you want to keep the ackee as whole as possible, so you're not bashed on social media if you're posting a pic. So be very gentle, and we'll wash this gently. Very gently, pass some water just to rinse it. And I'll open the next can now. Same rule applies. Notice with this one contains citric acid, which is something I'm very allergic to, so I won't be cooking this for myself. But if you're not allergic to these types of things, you can probably eat it, but make sure you rinse it. It's just a preservative, which is what I don't consume at all because of my allergies, my chemical sensitivities. Alright, you see? It's much more firm. Could be because of the citric acid, I don't know, I'm not a chemist. It's much brighter in color than the next brand. If you make this, let me know below in the comment which is your favorite brand of ackee in the can. I wish we had fresh ackee, but personally I've never seen it. We need to book a trip to Jamaica soon to try to find us some fresh ackee and to also taste it. I'm sure it's much better than anything that we could make here using a canned product. This comes together very quickly, so it's very important to have all your ingredients prepped, your mise en place. We'll place a cast iron pot over high heat just to bring it to temperature. I'm running low on oil, so I want to take this opportunity to show you the brand that I use, just in case you want to have the very same results that I do. I get this brand at BJ's. It's organic, extra virgin olive oil, no artificial flavors, no preservative. So I'm just going to fill it up. And you can use olive oil or coconut oil in this. Using my left hand, and I'm a right-hander. Use a funnel. I'll pour 4 to 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a nice generous amount. Olive oil is a healthy fat, contains omega-3s. Now I'll add the onion and hot pepper. I've reduced the heat to medium. If you don't like onions, use less. But this is going to reduce in size and quantity once it's cooked. The onion has been cooking for just about a minute. Now I'll add in the garlic. Generous amount of garlic. Just give it a quick stir. Cook it for a minute to soften and to release its flavors. A nice, ripe, delicious, beautiful tomato. I'm going to cook it for a minute too. Now I'll add in the bell peppers, the thyme, and half of the scallion, the white parts. You're not overcooking it. You want everything to be crisp, tender. Now I'll add in the thyme. Use fresh thyme if you have. Now I'll add in the saltfish. I'll also add the black pepper at this point. Freshly ground black pepper. Use as much as you like. Stir to blend all those delicious flavors and ingredients. That delicious flavored oil is now bringing the flavor, combining all the flavors. It's ensuring a perfect union. Seamless marriage of ingredients here. Now I'll move everything aside and drop in the star of the show, You can taste it for salt. If it doesn't have salt, do add some, because after this, we cannot stir it a lot. So make sure it's well flavored, has enough salt if you removed all the salt from the saltfish. Now I'll add in the ackee. We have to pause for a minute. The plumber is here. So now I'll just bring these at the top to combine without any movement on the ackee side, minimum movement. Hope I have done this dish justice. It's whole down there as much as it can, considering we're using canned ackee. All right, so that's it. I'll top it off with the scallion to finish up. This is about a half cup of scallion we've used in total. I'm going to start working on the bake or the fried dumplings. It smells amazing. It's beautiful. It's absolutely delicious. I love the creaminess of the ackee. An explosion of flavor, actually. And that's it. I'm not going to do anything else here because I don't want anybody to curse me out. Now we're going to make the fried dumplings or fried bake. You can use this dough for either. In the bowl of the stand mixer, I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 teaspoons baking powder, a teaspoon Himalayan salt, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons of butter. I will mix on low speed until it's combined, level 2 or 4. Not yet. I'll stop it. Scrape down the sides and mix again. Now I'll gradually add water, and this is lukewarm water. We're going to add about 1.5 cups. We'll see whether it needs more or less, and we will mix gradually until the dough comes together. Raise the speed. And it helps to pour the water down the sides. And I've used the entire 2 cups less about 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. Now I'll knead for 5 minutes until the dough is smooth. So the thing here is, if you're doing it on a low speed, you can go for 5 minutes, or on a higher speed for 3 minutes. So I think this is done. I'm going to remove the hook. I'm going to rub oil over the surface of the dough. Look at this dough, it's absolute perfection. Why use your hands when you can use a mixer? Oops, look at this. I'm going to rub a little more oil because I incorporated some of that oil in the dough. I'm going to rub a little more on the surface and cover it and allow it to rest for 15 to 30 minutes. Here I have 2 ripe plantains, and plantains with the black spots are perfect for frying. Usually I like it even darker, but this will work. So I'll cut off the tips. And since you last saw me, I cut my finger, so I'm going to be very careful. Just peel it. Usually I keep it on the skin and don't use a cutting board. Just cut it as large or as small as you like. Diagonal if you want it wider, or as thick as you like. Make sure your hands are dry and just Take some salt and sprinkle on the surface. Salt enhances the flavor. Next, we'll place the plantain in the pot gently. And we'll fry until it's brown, nice dark brown. We'll flip it and fry the other side. We'll sprinkle flour on the surface of your counter. Place the lovely dough on. I'll divide the dough in 4, and then I'll divide each into 4. Depends on how large you want your dumplings. We'll keep it small. So now you should have 16 pieces, and then we'll form each into a ball. Rolling up, pinching, pinch to seal, rotate. Right, press, add a little bit of flour, and you're pressing down. Okay, I'm just going to keep it here until we're ready to fry, and I'm going to repeat with the remaining dough. Fry your plantains as dark or as light as you wish. I love it on the dark side. People are going to accuse me of burning it, but that's just my preference. We'll place the plantain on a paper towel to drain the excess oil, and we're done. Now we have 16 dough balls. The last time I made it, I made half into bakes and half into the dumplings, the fried dumplings. So now what I'm going to do, make sure that the oil is hot. Now that we know that the oil is hot, we'll start frying the dumplings. When ready to fry, we just press it out a little flat, press the middle to make an indent. This is about 2.5 inches wide. And I'll drop it in gently. Reduce the heat to medium, and I'll repeat. I'm going to reduce the heat to low. Pour the oil on the bake to expedite the cooking and to ensure that it's fully cooked on the inside. This is very dense on the inside, so it has to cook low and slow for a very long time, and we don't want it to get too brown before it's fully cooked. By pouring the oil, we're ensuring that it's cooking on both sides at the same time. And this is not the Jamaican method. I am not Jamaican. So if you want something more authentic, please check out the Jamaican channel. I can assure you that this is equally as delicious, just using a different technique. And do not overcrowd the pot, because it will reduce the temperature of the oil, which will extend the cooking time. And I do not have 20 minutes to stand at a pot to cook one set of fried bakes or fried dumplings. When making these dumplings, there's a slight pressure of knowing the right time to take them out of the pot. It's difficult to gauge the doneness in there. With the fried bakes, it puffs up. We know it's fully cooked, but with these dumplings, you have to depend on experience. It's been quite a while. As you can see, the second set is looking more appealing. So I'll do a taste test. It's doughy, it's delicious. Absolutely perfect. I'm enjoying this with a little bit of Kerrygold butter, having a snack. So good. So satisfyingly good. Yummy. These have been cooking for much longer than the first set because we added more to the pan and it's on a lower heat. I wanted to make sure that it's fully cooked. It looks absolutely perfect now. It feels light. So we'll remove it. We'll drain it on the side of the pot and place it on the paper towel. It's not as dark as the first set, but it's still perfect. You make it as dark or as light as you like. And the difference between the Jamaican fried dumplings and the Trini bakes are that these are dense and doughy, where our bakes in Trinidad are light and airy and fluffy. This is the same flour, same dough you could use to make Trinidad fried bakes. You just roll it out flat into a wide disc and fry, and you'll get some lighter bakes if that's what you like. I'll do one just to show you in a second. To make the Trinidadian fried bakes, and I've shown you this several times, you just press it out flat. In the last video we made a large round, 8-inch round, and we cut it into 4, but here's just another method. You just flatten it into a circle, and this is about almost 5 inches wide. In between batches, make sure your oil comes back to temperature. Drop it gently into the pot. I'm going to raise the heat to high because nothing is happening. I know we've been doing a lot of bakes on this channel, but it's comfort food, and we do need comfort food nowadays. We eat it on weekends as part of a healthy, balanced diet. Cooking with Ria understands that we all don't like it the same way. We all have our differences and our preferences. So I like showing you different ways of doing the same thing. Drop it gently into the oil. Start pouring the oil over the bake. Magnificent. Absolutely perfect. Look at that. Light and airy. The same dough. The possibilities are endless. And as you can see, these fry in quarter of the time it took the others. I'm not trying to say any is better, but it's up to you. What works for you? What's your preference? Dense or light? Quick or for a longer period? You make your decision. I've shown you 2 options. Same great taste. And that's all there is to it, my sweet friends. My version of Ackee and Saltfish with fried dumplings and fried bake. Hope you've enjoyed cooking with me today. If you have and would like to show support for what I do here on this channel, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a lovely comment below. I always love hearing from you. Until next time, stay safe, be well, cook, share, and love. Bye bye.